نشاطون جوانان وطن بیاد رهبر رئیس جمهور مصلحت نظام عالیت نظامی شهدای اسلام شهدای آذربایجان غربی شهرستان نفتی روزانه و خود رضایی فرخزاد تقدیم میکنم. Kimsine arkadaşlarısı, şahitsine arkadaşlarısı, özellikle Maya! 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 Maya nerede? Maya! Maya nerede? Yani.
What I just showed has nothing to do with the topic of this talk, but I did it for two reasons. I have watched this video hundreds of times, and every time it makes me laugh. And that is simply because as he falls down, he starts to call his wife for help, and she has the same name as me, Maryam. But also that she never comes and he has to get up himself. So for years, my friends would call my name, mimicking his voice. The second reason is that this is one of my favorite things to do in the world, to play videos off YouTube for people and show the archive that I've collected throughout years with wearisome effort. And by that, I mean real hard work. Up until moving to the United States, I did not have an easy access to YouTube or Facebook or any other platform where you might find such content. Yet, just like many other millennials, I was eager to watch such things. I had to use a VPN to bypass Iran's filtering system on popular websites like the ones I mentioned, just to find a video to be entertained by for a few minutes. This path would take up most of the bandwidth of my slow internet, so I had to wait nearly an hour for a 5-minute video to play intact. This poor man would be stuck in the air before falling down again and again on my screen. Let's see if it works. No, I passed it. Okay. Doesn't matter. That is how I came across Nasim Aghdam's too. Her first video went viral among Iranians around the same time as the video that I just showed. The name of the video, Girl with Balloon Boobs, makes me wonder today if she intentionally used those words just to become a clickbait. As we all know, nipples, boobs, and breasts have played an important role in the history of YouTube. Her account name had brought up other presumptions about her too. The name Nasim Aghdam, meaning Green Nasim, at first raised questions about her political views, as the video was published in the aftermath of the 2009 presidential election, which led to massive protests in Iran, known as the Green Movement. But it was in her later videos that the reference of the word green was revealed. Nasim was a vegan and PETA activist, proud of making the first vegan commercial on Iranian satellite TV. who also critiqued modern societal values, including body image, mental shallowness, weak friendship ties, greed, and technological materialism. After the success of the Girl with Balloon Boobs video and realizing that she could reach a broader audience with the help of YouTube, Nasim decided to devote her life to building an online persona who would enlighten people about the cruelties of our modern lives to animals. Hiding any information about herself in real life, Nasim gave birth to a mysterious woman who was a prolific publisher of recipe, crafting, health, and exercise videos. Someone who would dance alone in front of colorful backdrops, make healthy food in weird shapes, and compete with her best friend, Mr. Rabbit. Despite her efforts to talk about animal rights, the topic was of little concern for many people inside Iran who were dealing with human rights issues. However, the weird and uncanny style of her videos kept drawing people's attention, and their circulation increased. After a few years, Nasim started her Turkish channel, and not long after that, one in English. Still, it was among Iranian online communities that she was unique. Nasim was the first of a kind. Never had anyone before her built an online persona, created videos with the intention of circulating on YouTube, and never had anyone approach this as a career, as something to rely on financially. It seemed pointless for people inside Iran to attempt to become content creators, as even if they could make it through the blocks on social media, there was also the danger of getting arrested. However, the introduction of Instagram and Telegram changed the game in Iran, as these were the first major social media sites that were not banned. Telegram was blocked by the Iranian government in 2019, leaving Instagram as the only public access social media. Millions of Iranians embraced Instagram as an opportunity to share images that punctured the rigid wall between private and public life. This proliferation of Instagram characters, influencers, or to use the Farsi term, Shakh Insta, which translates roughly to hooligans of Instagram, introduced new competitors to the game of which Nasim had been the champion of champions for a long time. However, every now and then, one of her videos would make it top of the trends, with comments making fun of her looks and style. It was not long after that her videos started to change. Nasim's previously entertaining content was replaced with gruesome footage of animals being slaughtered and skinned. Perhaps this was in response to her feeling that people were being distracted by her persona and not listening to her message. But this was not the reason. Nasim was fighting a bigger battle, maybe in her mind. After the Adpocalypse in 2017, when various companies pulled out of YouTube's advertising service, refusing to run ads alongside content they deemed questionable or offensive, Nasim, like many others, faced a crisis where her source of revenue was cut off. the factory of content that YouTube had once been closed its doors on many content creators who had helped it to profit with their millions of hours of uploaded video. Before these YouTube advertising algorithms became stricter, a commercial for hair conditioners could be played before a video of an ISIS beheading, with the only string connecting them being the words head and hair. But how could an account promoting healthy life habits with exercise videos and recipes be restricted on the grounds of not being family friendly? Was it because of a glitch with the algorithm, an issue that many other YouTubers faced due to the sudden change in policy? Although many were able to successfully oppose this restriction by appealing and requesting a human being instead of a computer to approve their content, Nasim did not have luck in this process either. Not only were most of her videos in a language incomprehensible to YouTube employees, her account statistics were enough reason for YouTube to demonetize her videos. It was not that her account did not have enough views or subscribers, but that the audience of her videos was not profitable to any company. No company is willing to target their ads to people outside their consumer group. Nasim's audience were mostly based in Iran, and no Western advertiser could capitalize on that viewership, given the US sanctions against Iran. On the other hand, no Iranian company could have advertised on YouTube either, due to its blockage by the government. Therefore, it is not wrong to say that her problems were rooted in the complexity of the relationship between Iran and the US. Beside her battle with YouTube, 2017 was a rough year for Nasim. She had to prove herself to an audience who were constantly trolling her, fight against YouTube, and grieve for the death of her rabbit friend. It was then that her videos took a noticeable shift. Nasim started to talk about her life, her immigration to the United States with her family as a teenager and a religious refugee, but referred to her childhood in Iran as the best days of her life. The last photo she posted on her Telegram is a proof of this fact. She made several videos outlining the YouTube discrimination against her and how they were trying to silence her as she believed she was telling a bigger truth. She used the online world to talk about the cruelties in our real world, but eventually got to a dead end. Feeling desperate over the power of a cloud of data over her head, she felt she did not have any other choice. She had to end it, and it is very likely she accomplished this with the help of YouTube. Searching for the type of the gun she used in YouTube's search bar, I found videos with titles like feminine gun and compatible for beginners, which might have been a resource in Nasim's decision. As the first news about the shooting was released, online users started pulling facts from every corner of internet to fit her into a category of mass shooters, which is carelessly divided to white males with mental illness or Muslims terrorists. However, Nasim was neither of those, and it is important to remember that her aim in the shooting wasn't to kill anybody but herself. All these ambiguities raise the curiosity of the online masses to search for answers on the web. But a few hours after the shooting, all her YouTube channels and other social media accounts got deleted, as well as her website. Many YouTubers then began to upload some of her archived videos and gained significant viewership. Videos that were mixed in with the news and reports were now circulating. Her act of rebellion was again crushed between the gears of a corporation who profits from each click on a video. And her act contributed to the perpetration of this cycle. One of the videos circulating days after the incident was a video of Nasim that was taken by someone else, yet as uncanny the ones she made herself. It was the video of the police camp the night before the shooting, where Nasim was sleeping in her car, parked in a Walmart lot, not far from YouTube headquarters in California. Apparently, Nasim had left her house unnoticed 2 days prior and driven to Mountain View. Her father, aware of her rage against YouTube, called the police to inform them that she was missing and that he was worried something would happen. The 30-minute video of the police encounter with her is bizarre, distant from the usual images of police brutality. These cops, unaware of the future, finish their interview with a set of simple questions.
Take medication? Okay. You don't want to hurt yourself, do you? Or you don't want to hurt anybody else? You don't want to commit suicide or anything like that, right? Okay. Are you ever planning on going back home?
Nasim answers by simply shaking her head. After that, the conversation shifts to a truly absurd place. The police looks for assistance from a Siri-type thing on Nasim's Android phone to find her number and then leave her to a sleepless night.
Well, this is Roy Android, right? So that's why I don't know. I don't know what it is. Oh, you know? Yeah, but the thing is that we sometimes get people that park their stolen vehicles here.
Since the incident, I've been asked several times if I knew her. I was asked again last week after I posted an image on my Instagram about this talk. Do you know this woman? This question that makes me wonder every time, and I don't know how to answer. Have I really known her? Through watching hours of her videos over the course of years, I guess not. But when I look at it in comparison to people that I actually know in real life, I mostly know about them through their posts and videos on social media too. So in that way, I guess I could say that I did know Nasim. But is this even a valid question? What is our role in this one-way relation with the people whom we follow online? Did I contribute to her insanity by watching her videos and laughing? It is hard to isolate the last image from all I've been watching of her over the years. In a time where we are constantly watching each other online, How can we release ourselves from the pressures of the unknown future accident? Done. Thank you.
I was like doing my homework and I just heard people walking around talking about the talk, so I'm not really sure what it's about.
Just like talking from the first point of like how I think people mostly here know Nasim after the incident, but for me it was just like before and the 5 years that she was active, and I was trying to narrate this rather than what was happening. So giving a sense from like looking from the lens and the culture that she's coming from, yeah. Sure.
Okay, so I'm not really aware of what this was, like I didn't know this happened, so I'm not really informed about what happened. So I guess from like my point of view of what I'm seeing is that you're saying like this one thing that she committed does not define who she is. Is that?
Yes, I'm trying to give a broader history to like because as I'm saying, like, in here it was only a news that someone went to YouTube and shot people and killed herself.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like what was the history and like how was she like, and how what led to this and what was her audience and what was around the whole incident. Yeah. Sure.
I feel very disturbed after seeing it. Just a reaction. But I'm curious to know, so when the cops were asking her the question that night and they ran her plates and they found that somebody had reported a missing person, like what kind of action did they take immediately? Like, did they take her into custody or did they just let her be there? Or
they just let her be there. So the thing was that after her dad just like reported, they put on risk like a notice on the file on the case, but there was no explanation, so the police didn't know. Also, like they thought like maybe she had a mental issue or anything, and they talked before this parts that they go to her that talking about like what we should do is just like talk to her for a few minutes, see if she's fine. If she shows any sign of having any mental issues, then we should just like, it's a but because she's a grown-up person, she has the right to not go back home. So they just like leave her that night,
And the next morning she went and did the shooting?
Yes, the next morning she went, bought her gun, practiced with it, and went to YouTube, Sure.
I'm curious about her followers, like the first part of the story. For me, when I watch the videos, I find them like she has a real message, but it's hard for me not to mock her because it's like she's weird in the way she presents her ideas. So did she have a community, a loyal community, real followers, or people just followed her to mock her?
I think most of the biggest percentage of the followers were from mocking, but yes, she did have some like followers that were loyal to her, and she would just like reshare or just like make video in response to them, or not in collaboration. She never did collaboration. She would talk about it, but yes, but they were really few.
So YouTube actually blocked her from posting stuff, right? Is that, like, if I'm understanding correctly, that's what happened, right? They were not like letting her post content because she wasn't having enough sponsors, because like, or
I mean, that is one thing that it's just like different, so everyone got affected by Adpocalypse, but there's no reason and nobody can say what was it. But the thing about her is that she couldn't get it resolved after the year, because a lot of YouTubers now are saying like, yeah, they're still affected and this is again happening, but she didn't have that community, or just like, she was completely left alone in another country and she couldn't survive that situation. So I think that is part of but I think one part of it is that she did not have a possibility to get advertisement on her videos, yeah. Yes.
I'm wondering if, I know that like nobody knows her fully, but I guess like, was she really, I mean, in your opinion, since you follow her for a long time, do you think popularity was like one of her aims to get her message out? Because, you know, not a lot of artists are famous or anything like that, but will still create art and, you know, or make videos, just, so.
It's a really hard thing, because after a while that she was just like fighting again, like, yeah, like she got into this YouTube battle for herself. She was thinking that because I am popular and because I am like important, they're trying to shut me down. So it's really hard to say from her own, like, how she was talking about the situation. She thought like, yeah, she was just like trying to get popular, but then they realized about her message, so then they tried to shut her down. But I don't think she was just like trying to like being like a narcissistic, wanting to be like popular, but rather just she thought that there's a bigger goal in her life, and she was like talking about it. She also referred in her like one of her last videos that she was sent from another planet to the Earth to just like enlighten people, but I think this is metaphoric of what she was saying. But yeah, I think she was saying that it's mostly her message that was important to her, yeah.
What about when she moved to the States? Because I guess she lived in California for a while before this whole thing happened.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you know how much time before, like at what age did she move out?
She was 19 when she moved here with her parents, and she was 38 when she was turning 39. So for 20 years she was living, but she was living with her parents the whole life, for her whole life, and she had a room that she turned with she painted blue to make all her videos in her bedroom. And you've seen like in some of the footages here, like you could see the house in it. She's just like alone and just like using the times that the family are not around to make the videos. Yeah. But yeah, she'd been living like most of her life here.
Yeah, because I was wondering about the cognitive dissonance. Like living in a country like the U.S., but inside a house that is most likely very traditional.
Yes, yeah, completely, yeah. That's why I think like what also like led to this like mental issue is just like, yeah, not having a community and just like being in that small space. And then another problem of hers was that her family didn't understand that she was a vegan, and she couldn't even like put effect on them. So she thought like she can't change the people that she's living with, but she might be able to do it online, which she lost the chance, yeah. Yeah, time is over. Thank you. Thanks.